Welcome back, everybody, to Pedal Down 4x4. And on today, we're doing electrical. Okay, so as you guys would have seen in the last video, the battery is now mounted in the back of the truck. Like that. I still need to get the closed cell foam to make up the gap between the lid and the battery itself, but we are doing wiring today. The one thing I did not get is I didn't get a grommet, so I'm gonna take a run to O'Reilly's or Napa, whatever parts store, and go look for a grommet that'll fit the cables that I have. However, we are using these terminals. Now these are brass marine graded terminals, and the reason for that is out of all my years of wiring trucks, wiring cars, doing sound systems, there are these terminals right here. Now they are aluminum and they suck. They literally are the worst terminal ever. They look cool, but the only thing that does those terminals do is they corrode like all the time. They're terrible. So I'm gonna try out these brass marine fitting terminals, and yeah, we're gonna start wiring. I do have some of the wires laid out here. I think this run will be our best shot at making the run from the battery all the way to the starter, and then from the starter to the alternator. So let's get these terminals on and we'll see if they even fit, because I'm not even sure. So let's take a look. All right, so I got the tie down taken off, and let's pull the battery box off of here. And here we can see the battery. So let me try and rip this guy open with one hand. Don't mind my toes in the video. You are lucky. Usually you'd have to pay for shots like that. But we have our brass terminals, one positive, one negative. So this is going to be our positive terminal. I'm assuming it's going to be like that, and our negative terminal will be like that. So you notice that this cover has these two humps, and that's for the terminals actually to come out of. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these battery terminals, I'm going to make them route down here, and then I'm going to drill two holes. You can't really see it, but drill two holes down there, one here and one over there for the positive and the negative. But first I need to go get some grommets to fit the one out. I'm not even sure if they sell it, but let's go take a look at the store. Okay, your boy is back. So I picked up, where are they? So these guys, just two grommets here for the positive and negative. I will have to do another one for the winch isolator in the future. I have to drill a 1.25" hole for insulation. Now I don't have an 1.25" bit, but what I do have is my arch nemesis, and that's this. I hate this thing. People love them. I burn the hell out of them all the time, but hopefully, because the steel is pretty, thin, hopefully it's pretty easy to drill through. So let me climb up on this truck, and per usual, we are gonna have to take the battery back out so we can get the holes drilled. And I'm thinking one right there. I guess I could drill both of them on this side, actually. Yeah, let's do that, and I can just cross over this line. Okay, let me pull that battery out. Oh, that battery's heavy. And then I think if I get rid of all the crap, I think I'll drill the two holes like right over here, so I can drill straight through and then put the grommets in. So let's see how this goes. It's better, but there's our first grommet, and we're gonna drill our second grommet right over here. So let me drill these grommets, or let me drill these holes, and I'll put the grommets and I'll install the grommets, and then I'll show you guys the final result. I got the two grommets in place. They're a little bit off-centered from each other, and the reason for that is because there's this little ridge hump thing and it ends right here, so I couldn't put it further down to make it even, but that should be okay. So now all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start actually I'm gonna pull these off first. I'm gonna paint those so it doesn't rust, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run the wire from the starter back here to see if I have enough length of wire. So let me just throw some, I don't even know where the paint is, but I'm gonna just throw some quick spray paint on that so it doesn't rust, and then we'll start running the power wire from the starter, and that's going to be able to power the alternator as well as the fuse box and all the other stuff. So let me start running wires, and I'll probably show you guys the process. Okay, so I have to clean up this table, good grief, but got the cable in the vise, got the old one off, and the reason why I took that one off is because the actual post where it sits on is way smaller now, so I got the one with the smaller hole. But I finally get to use my new tool that I bought. This is a hydraulic crimp press. So let me get you guys set up right there so you can see that wire. So you can crimp this in a couple different ways. This is a pretty big cable, so all of you that like to use good old-fashioned pliers, probably not your best hope. I have used for years, I have used hammer crimp, which is like it's a lug, or you put the lug in it and you hammer and it crimps down onto the wire. Okay, now that that's pretty, actually let me drop it. And we're just gonna keep compressing this guy until it meets. Okay, there we go. So now you can see how it is clamped down on that. Can't compress it anymore, so I'm gonna reset that, and you get yourself a very pretty crimp. So it's nice and crimped now. Now I have to just throw some heat shrink. That's not going anywhere. I think that was a little unnecessary, but we're gonna throw some heat shrink on there. I think I have some in this other drawer. Okay, so don't have heat shrink. Well, not red heat shrink. Ow. I have black, but that's okay. It's gonna go on the starter anyway. So let me slide this guy on. I should have put the heat shrink on first, but I kind of got excited to use a new tool. All right. Okay, so we have the heat shrink over the lug. This is just a little torch that I have. Okay, I'm not sure what just recorded. The GoPro glitched, but I have a little torch thing. So we're gonna just put this on the lowest setting there, and then we're just gonna heat this guy up here. I need to go buy some more heat shrink later, preferably the one with the glue. And I am slowly burning up this crimp, or this heat shrink, which that's always good. I should get a heat gun, but ain't nobody got time for that. Oh, this one does have glue. By glue, there's like an adhesive glue inside the heat shrink, and what happens is when you're putting the heat shrink on, it melts and then it reseals against the cable, so you have a waterproof connection. And that's always a good thing to have. Okay, so you can kind of see right here has that glue coming out on the connection. So I'm going to cut this sleeve back, and we're gonna install this on the starter, and we're gonna get that onto the starter and just start running the wire loosely to the back so we can see if we have enough wire. That's the reason why I'm not using the other terminal. or I didn't install the other terminal yet. I'm not even sure if this length of wire is gonna fit, so I guess we'll find out, boys. Okay, so got the first wire ran. Put a little bit of heat proofing on it. You can see it right there, it wraps around and it goes on this part of the frame. I'm gonna get some more of this heat. I'm probably gonna get the higher temp fiberglass. This is fiberglass, but this is not insulated. The other one is fiberglass insulated, so it runs along the inside of the frame. It's kind of a pain to show, but you can see right there where it's coming out of this one grommet. So that's coming out of that one grommet here. That's going to be for the positive side. And the negative side, I'm not going to show you guys because it's pretty self-explanatory. It's going to go through there and it's literally going to just bolt onto the frame, like somewhere over here. I'll just drill a hole and then put a bolt through the frame, and that's it. That's going to be the ground for the battery. The next wire I have to run is from the positive on the starter, wrap it around. Trying to think about where I'm going to put it. I might put it on the front of the oil pan because that's how the stock one is ran. You can see some of the tie-ins right there, and then I'm going to run it up to the alternator, which is right here. So see this wire right here, this is the old wire. I'm going to take that off and then I'm going to run that wire. So I'm going to go ahead and crimp this positive wire, get that one ran, and I'll show you guys that, and then we'll move on to the negative. Oh, and we need to run the wire from the fuse box. So this guy right here, I'm going to pull it out of the fuse box and we're going to do a longer run of that. I think it's 8 gauge. I could be wrong, could be 6 gauge. I'm not 100% sure, but that'll also connect directly to the alternator with the positive cable. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do this run. I'm gonna probably use whatever cable. I think this cable's too short. I'll probably just start chopping up this other cable, and then we can get that whole thing ran. And then the only cables I'd have to buy is for the winch, but we'll wire the winch a different day because I want to do in-cab controls on the truck. It has a wireless remote, but having in-cab would be pretty cool. I've been wanting to do it, so I'm going to get this other positive wire ran and then I'll show you guys the progress on that. I wired up from the starter. You can see I used the AC bolt right here to hold on this bracket, as well as this other, the original bracket to hold on that positive line. And then it goes up, it doesn't hit anything, and we are connected to the alternator. Before you say anything, I am gonna shrink. I'm gonna put the shit over here on this. So obviously there's a little cushion right here to insulate it more, but it's not touching any of the metal if you're wondering. And then I need to extend this line, so I have to pull the fuse box apart and get that wire out. But that is basically all the wiring for the most part done on the Tacoma. The only wire I have to do left is the ground, which, as I said, it's going to go from the negative terminal straight down right to the frame that's grounded. You have another wire over here that's dangling. This is for the engine ground, so this is going to get grounded to the frame. So that's going to go to the frame. There's another ground that's back there. You can't really see it, but that's going to get grounded to the body from the engine. So engine to body, and then engine to frame. And then on this side, we are going to go with from the frame, or from the engine, we're going to go directly to the frame, and we're going to do a jumper from that to the body, or from the battery to the body, whichever order. It'll all work out at the end. But yeah, that's basically the wiring done on the truck. That's how it's gonna get done. It is getting late. The sun is starting to shine through the garage, so that basically is gonna cut my time filming, but I'm gonna wrap this up and I will show you guys a little bit later the final wiring done on the truck, and then that'll be it. Wiring is done on the truck. And we are on to the next step, which will be the ARB air compressor. That's going to be next video. Okay, guys. It's pouring rain right now, but I'm gonna just do a little recap of the electrical. I finished it. I finished a little while ago. I'm gonna shoot the air compressor installation video today, but it'll be another video because this video is gonna be too long. So sorry if I'm yelling. I don't know if you guys can hear me good, but got all the wiring done. That's mounted to the alternator, so all the way from the fuse box, it's mounted down. And then you can see right here we have our chassis ground, so that's grounded to the engine block. And then this is the wire from the starter that loops around kind of where the factory wire used to go, down there, and then nothing's obstructed. So that wire's you can't see it, but it's like in there, and then it connects to the starter, and then from the starter this wire goes excuse me, all the way to the back. None of the wires are connected on the battery just because there's no sense in me hooking them up right now. I had to paint this wire red so I knew which wire was the positive cable, and this is the ground. So the ground, you have one to the body, and I did check for continuity between the bed and the frame, and the bed and the body, and we do have continuity, so that's great. And then this is going to be our frame to battery ground. So frame to battery, or chassis to battery, and then we have body to battery, and then we have our positive to battery. And then we also have our high density foam that's going to get pushed down onto the battery, hold it into place, and that's pretty much it. So that's basically the electrical done on the truck. And real sneak peek, I don't know if you guys may have seen this right now. Oh yeah, we got tires, boys. So those are the 37s. I'll go ahead and prop this guy up. So this is the 37 14.5 15-inch rim, because if you ain't running 15, son, I don't know what to say. But this is what it looks like next to a 35 12.5 BFG KM3. So that's a 35 12.5 KM3, and that's a 37 14.5 Toyo Open Country MT. Now I did do some flexing stuff with the engine hoist. I flexed up one. I basically tied our strap to the rim. And we should have good enough clearance. We may have to clear the fender a little bit more to get it to fully tuck in without rubbing, but those are the tires. I'm pretty stoked. We'll get those mounted soon. But that's it for this episode. I was gonna do both of them in this episode, but that episode would be like an hour long, and I doubt anybody would want to watch an hour-long YouTube video, especially from me, because I'm pretty terrible at this. But that's it for now, and as always, thanks for watching.